Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about top 10 facts about Cyrus the Great. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. The Achaemenid Empire was established by Cyrus the Great, also known as Cyrus II of Persia. To make the Achaemenid Empire the greatest the world has ever seen, he defeated the Median Empire, Lydian Empire and Neo-Babylonian Empire. Cyrus II was not only a brilliant conqueror but also an outstanding emperor who revered the diverse faiths practiced in the lands. He conquered and implemented several reforms to ensure his kingdom's stability. Here are 10 fascinating facts about one of history's greatest rulers' families, childhood, reign, changes, victories, death and legacy. The top 10 statistics about Cyrus the Great are mentioned below. Number 10. The Iranian citizens, mainly the Medes and Persians, were instrumental in crushing the Assyrian Empire, which had dominated the city, in 609 BC. As a result, the Median Empire, along with Babylonia, Lydia, and Egypt, became one of the four main forces of the ancient Near East. The Persians became assimilated into the Medes realm. Between 590 and 580 BC, Cyrus the Great was born. Cambyses I, a Persian king who reigned from 580 to 559 BC, in the ancient city of Anshan in southwestern Iran, was the son of Astyages, king of the Median Empire, and his mother Mandane was the daughter of Astyages, the king of the Median Empire. Number 9. Nothing is understood for certain about Cyrus the Great's early life. However, legend has it that Astyages had two visions in which he was overthrown by his grandson. Harpagus, his assistant and commander, was tasked with assassinating Cyrus. Harpagus entrusted the job to Mithridates, a shepherd who raised the infant and gave Harpagus his stillborn son. Cyrus was noticed by Astyages when he was 10 years old because of his exceptional qualities. His life was saved by Astyages and he was returned to live with his biological parents. He did, however, murder Harpagus' son and dupe him into eating his own son at a banquet. Number 8. Cyrus the Great was a descendant of Achaemenes, after whom the Achaemenid Empire was named, and after his paternal grandfather, Cyrus I. In 559 BC, Cyrus II succeeded his father as king of Anshan. Astyages mounted an assault on Cyrus, resulting in a 3-year war that culminated in 550 BC with Cyrus' capture of Ecbatana, the Median Empire's capital. During this battle, a portion of Astyages' army revolted against him, allegedly led by Harpagus, to avenge his son's death. Cyrus II is said to have saved Astyages' life, and married his daughter Amytis after conquering Media. Number 7. Croesus, king of Lydia in western Asia Minor, began extending his territories at the detriment of the Medes after Media fell. This resulted in the Battle of Pteria in 547 BC, which pitted Cyrus the Great's Persian forces against Croesus' invading Lydian forces. About the fact that the war ended in a draw, Croesus was forced to retreat west into his own country. Cyrus II then took the war into Lydian territory, where his armies defeated the Lydian army in the decisive Battle of Thymbra. The siege of Sardis, Lydia's capital, was then carried out by Cyrus. Sardis fell after 14 days and Croesus was captured. In 546 BC, Cyrus II invaded the Lydian Empire. Number 6. The Babylonian Empire's people's discontent with their king Nabonidus provided Cyrus II with the pretext for the Persian conquest of Mesopotamia. This resulted in the Battle of Opis in 539 BC, in which Cyrus the Great's Persian armies decisively routed the Babylonian army. Babylon, the largest city of the ancient world, collapsed without resistance a few days later, and its king Nabonidus was imprisoned. The invasion of Babylon expanded the Achaemenid Empire beyond Mesopotamia to Syria and Palestine, which had recently been invaded by the Babylonians. Number 5. The Achaemenid Empire grew to include all of the former civilized states of the Near East, as well as much of Southwest Asia, Central Asia and the Caucasus under Cyrus II. As a result, Cyrus the Great built the world's greatest empire, stretching from the Mediterranean Sea and the Hellespont in the west to the Indus River in the east. There are many misconceptions about Cyrus II's passing, just as there are about his early life. According to mythology, Cyrus was defeated and killed by Tomyris, a woman chief of the Massagetæ tribe, in order to avenge the death of her son and defend her people during his war in the east. Cyrus is said to have died in the year 530 BC. From 559 BC until his death, he ruled for 29 years. Number 4. Cyrus II's personal life is shrouded in mystery. He had 2 wives according to legend: Amadis, Astyages' daughter, and Cassandane, an Achaemenian Persian noblewoman. When Cassandane died, Cyrus witnessed a great grief in his vast kingdom. With Cassandane he had 4 daughters, Cambyses II who succeeded his father and further extended the Achaemenid Empire by capturing Egypt, and Atassa who later married Darius the Great were among them. In its height, Darius controlled the kingdom. He had a son named Xerxes I with Atassa who famously conquered Greece, resulting in the Battle of Thermopylae, which was the inspiration for the film 300. Number 3. Cyrus the Mighty was a great king as well as a great conqueror. He had a moral philosophy of upholding all of the different faiths that were followed in his vast kingdom. He was known as the liberator among the Babylonians. He is said to have kept his armies away from the Babylonian temples, and repaired their god statues. He was regarded as a dignified and holy king by the Jews. He is celebrated in their holy books for the abolition of slavery, humanitarian freedom, and expensive reparations. Some credit Cyrus II with bringing the exiled Jews back to the Promised Land, and giving them a commission to restore their temple. The Cyrus cylinder is an ancient clay cylinder with a document of his name written on it. It has been dubbed the oldest established civil rights charter, but there is disagreement about how it can be interpreted. Cyrus' kingdom was governed by 4 capital states: Pasargad, Babylon, Susa and Ecbatana. He gave each state a certain amount of regional autonomy. He had a system of satraps or provincial governors. He appointed 26 satraps who were in charge of collecting taxes, assessing lawsuits and other duties in the region under their control. A general who oversaw military recruiting and maintained order, and a state secretary who kept official documents helped them. To promote swift contact in his kingdom, Cyrus the Great reorganized and reconstructed an ancient highway known as the Royal Road. He also developed the first reliable postal system in history, which consisted of several stations that provided fresh supplies and horses to the messengers along the way. Number 1. Cyrus II, who was well-liked at the time, was regarded as an ideal ancient emperor who was not only courageous and daring but also tolerant and magnanimous. The fact that the Achaemenian Empire continues to flourish after his death, and lasted more than 2 centuries, is a testament to his skill. Many historians regard Cyrus the Great as a greater conqueror than Alexander the Great, who demolished the Achaemenian Empire but failed to establish a lasting successor. Many individuals, including Alexander, Thomas Jefferson, and David Ben-Gurion, were inspired by Cyrus II's life and personality. His own country, Iran, has dubbed him the Father, a title he has held since the time of Cyrus. What do you think about this video? Which of the following top 10 facts about Cyrus the Great you find most shocking? Do let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.